Hey you guys, so first of all, if you have been around for a minute, you know that I tend to be a pretty colorful gal. I like my rainbow colors and trying all kinds of fun stuff. So this palette for me is a little bit outside of, not my comfort zone. I'm comfortable using these shades, but you know, just a little outside of what I typically do. And I wanted to challenge myself with this. So today we are going to be using the Jeffree Star Cremated Palette to create 3 different looks with all these gray colors. I really want to see and get down to it if these colors really are different or if it's all kind of the same when you go to use it, because it's interesting. I'm curious. I want to try it out and see how everything performs. Is it up to par with all the other Jeffree Star products or not so much? I don't want to talk about all the controversy and everything regarding this launch and this palette. I feel like it's a very personal choice on whether this whole theme bothers you or not. So leaving all the drama aside, I really just want to see how the quality is and if I'm able to really truly create different looks with this palette. So that's what we're going to be doing today. And if you are new here, new to my channel, new to my face, I would love it so much if you would consider subscribing at any point in time in this video by hitting that little red button down below, and then make sure that bell is tapped next to the subscribe button. Then YouTube allegedly might possibly actually notify you when I post more videos, which is 3 times a week, and it's all beauty related and all cruelty free as well. But enough chit chat, enough jibber jabbing. If you would like to see the looks that I create with this palette, 3 of them today, and how the quality is and how the pigmentation is and all of that, then you're in the right place, and all you need to do now is sit back, hang tight, keep on watching. Boop. All right, for the very first time for me, let's open her up. Okay, so honestly, first impressions when he talked about this launch, I was underwhelmed with the packaging and a little bit disappointed. This is completely personal taste. This is just nitpicking. I know it is what it is. I love the outer sleeve. I think that looks really cool, marbly. I like the see-through, but I personally just really don't like it when the founder or creator or whatever's face is on the palette. Just the palette like this, just by itself, doesn't speak to me. It's a beautiful makeup look. I'm not knocking that by any means, but it's just not something that I particularly prefer. In comparing this to the rest of his palettes, it underwhelms me just as far as packaging goes. I mean, come on, they kind of raised that bar as it is. That packaging, all of the Jeffree Star packaging is just out of this world amazing. So in my opinion, this one just falls a little bit flat, but I like the outer sleeve. I will be keeping the outer sleeve together like that because I just think that the outer sleeve looks really cool and the marble detail and stuff. The palette seems really sturdy, so nothing to knock that. But even Jawbreaker, which is the same size, same style, just that one having that Jawbreaker blown out explosion looks so much cooler to me. But I know that's nitpicking and that's not necessarily what we're here for. You either like it or you don't. I will say this color story is far more interesting than the pictures did justice for it of, than the pictures, than, you know what I mean. It is way more interesting. I don't know another word for it. It's more neutral. I thought it was just all going to be grays and blacks, but to me, I'm seeing some more neutral tone, almost brown shades like this one right here. And you got that one right there. These ones are more neutrally leaning brown. Even the Eulogy is like a grayish beige, maybe like a grayish. So that is kind of cool. Okay, like honestly, if he threw a deep brown and one more other brown in there, this would be a neutral palette. So that's interesting. Not as crazy gray as I thought it was going to be. Still a lot of grays. Don't get me wrong. Still a lot of grays. So I don't know which direction I want to take this first look, but I better figure it out because I already primed my eyes. I'm going to prime my eyes the same way in all 3 looks using the ABH eye primer, just carving out underneath my brow, slathering it all on, just the basic thing because it never fails me. And then for this look, I'm going to take Deathblow, which is that white shade right here, just underneath the brow to set right there, just the primer right there. I want it to stick everywhere else though, so I won't be setting my entire lid with that shade. No, no, no. So for this first look, I want to go with more of a softer but glittery type of look. So I'm going to go in with Wednesday right here, and let's kind of sweep it like all over. If you guys have been around on my channel, you might remember when I got the Alien palette for Valentine's Day. And I said, and I quote, I don't ever look good in grays for eyeshadow. I don't know why. I love grays, but because I have yellow undertones in my skin, gray on my eyes just for some reason looks so bizarre, so crazy. But that Alien palette proved me wrong because there was a gray in there. I think it was the gray, you know, tall grays that looked so good on my skin yes, finally a gray that I can wear. So I predict that some of these grays will look good on my skin tone and some of them might look a little like dull is the word, I think. This one is so pigmented too. That was very, very easy, honestly. So let's just put that all over the mobile lid really quickly, and then I'm gonna go back and blend a little bit. Let's go in now with a different brush. Go in with the Luxie 121 brush. It's a smaller blending brush because I don't want to take it up too high. Let's take Wednesday and also trying to like pair these with the right tones. I think a tap of Life Insurance, which is this light gray one, because I don't want it to be too deep right here. And I'm just gonna gently smoke that out, blend that out. And then I want this right here to be like winged out a little bit, not like crazy dramatic or anything, just kind of pointed. I think I'm actually gonna get a different brush for that. Let's go in with this little Elf and J Kissa one, the J1 it's called. Just flick it a little bit and kind of angle blend. This is the Luxie 111. It's like a little pointed fluffy brush, and I'm just gonna blend that, the longer side pointing out, of course. Just soften it. I don't want it to be a wing. I just want it to be softened. I'm gonna go back in with Death Blow, which is the white base shade I was just using. And I'm just going to do like a little opposite blend. I would go in with Life Insurance, but it's not quite the same tone because I'm needing that like in between shade. So by using the Death Blow shade, it kind of creates that and just gives like a little reverse blend action. And I can just kind of go back and forth and finesse it until I'm happy with that blend. All right, I just went ahead and caught up on the other eye, and now let's lay down some glitter. I don't know if I can use a brush for it, but we're gonna find out right now. I'm sure these might perform better with a finger, but I got these claws, and I would appreciate it if a brush will work. So I'm first gonna dip into Pallbearer right here. These are supposed to be, I believe this one is supposed to be one of the new glitter formulas. So I'm gonna be placing that right on top of that. I'm gonna do it about half, kind of at an angle, because I'm gonna go in with another color here in a minute. You know, this is working, but I just got a feeling that the finger will be even better. So let me do that, okay? Yeah, you know, it just takes it to a whole nother level. Okay, it's just freaking hard to get precise, but it's all right. Let me take it back now, and I want it to be softer over here anyways, and just kind of gently press it onto that wing and right here onto that line, because I don't want it to be all over. It's kind of blended, kind of a blended glitter. Now this part's gonna be hard. I'm gonna try to go in with my finger with Diamond Ashes, which is that other pressed glitter over here. It's not a pressed glitter. I don't remember what it was called, but it's not a pressed glitter. Holy moly. Wow. Okay, I gotta do a little swatch of that, all right? That is what I'm talking about, okay? That is what I expect. So let me go in. Wow, and I'm gonna create like a little blend. It is almost impossible to get into my inner corner though. Oh, I gotta go with the brush, but oh, that's so exciting. Okay, if you don't have this issue, don't worry about it. You can just go straight in with a finger, pop it right on, and be done with it. But I'm gonna have to layer a little bit with this brush. That is magical. That is beautiful. I'm gonna take this smaller little concealer slash cut crease brush, spray it, and dip into Diamond Ashes again, and do the inner corner. Ooh, man. Look at that. Just so I can be a little bit more precise, I wet my brush and I'm going back in with Pallbearer and just beefing that up a little bit, because that's working well. A little bit of fallout, but I'm not that surprised. If you're working with these kind of interesting formulas, yeah, you're gonna get fallout and it's gonna stick to you. I recommend doing your eyes first. I do not know if I want to do any color on the lower lash line or not, so I'm gonna go ahead, catch up the eye on the other side with all the fun glitter and do my face makeup, and then I will decide if I want to do a lower lash line or if it's good. All right, so here's everything done minus lower lash line, and I feel like this is totally fine and you do not have to do a lower lash line or anything, but I almost feel like something is missing and I can't quite pinpoint it. So I am going to extend that same matte gray shade, which was Wednesday, just onto the lower lash line. Just very gently, very quickly, just blend out and smoke out that lash line. That made such a big difference. I really, really like it now. Not that I didn't like it before, but it was just like I said, something felt like it was missing. So now it feels more complete. Okay, first look is done. This is the whole look all put together. And you guys, those couple mattes that I used blended out so nicely. This new pressed metallic formula I am loving. I am loving how shiny it is. And I like that you can kind of customize how much payoff you want. You can just go in with a dry brush to give that lighter, you know, kind of just pressed on shimmer type of look, or you can intensify it either using your fingertip or wetting your brush. So I like the versatility of that, and I'm really excited to play around some more. So with that being said, let's move on to look number 2. Okay, so I want to play around with these tones right here that look more kind of neutrally brown, like we were talking about. We have like these tan shades there and even some pressed ones that are kind of tan. Look at that. It's like a grayish tan, but more on the beige side. Kind of cool, kind of unique. Like I said, I wasn't really expecting that when I actually opened the palette. So let's create a look using those tones and see how they look. I'm curious, are they gonna actually look more gray on the skin? Are they gonna look like they do in the pan? I don't know. Let's find out though. I started off priming my eyes the same way, and then I think let's try to set with this shade called Casket Ready just to see if it works that way. No, that totally works. It's just like a more toned down base shade, not so, which is nice because not everybody wants to use a white shade to set underneath the brows. So I like that. Okay, now let's go in with Last Respects, which is this tan beige shade. And let's just blend out the crease. Yeah, that is like a light neutral brown transition shade, but like cool tone. And the more I build it on, the grayer it appears, but it's totally like a grayish, 100% gray beige, but it's blending really nicely. It's doing pretty good. Now let's go in with the Morgue, which is the same tone, but just a little bit deeper. And let's blend that into the crease. It's definitely gray, isn't it? Definitely like a softer gray, not as brown as it looks in the pan. How bizarre. How bizarre. Let's take a little look here. That's Morgue. No, I mean on my finger swatch, it's gray. Yeah, like it is gray. It's so interesting. Look at how brown that looks in the pan versus my eye. Huh. Okay, well, whatever. That's why I want to do this. I wonder how similar everything really looks then, like really looks when you go to use it. Let's go back to the J1 brush and the Morgue shade, and I'm just gonna connect the little outer corner right here. And then let's take the shade, let's try to do Mausoleum. That one, use my finger, pop that on. That's a pretty shade. This is more of like a soft and muted type of look. Now I'm gonna grab a brush and wet it a little bit with some setting spray and go in with that same shade just to reach the inner corner over here. And then sweep it across the crease area. And of course I'm gonna pop Diamond Ashes right into the inner corner right there. Ooh, some of his shadows have a very weird type of burning sensation when they get in the eyes, which I know you're not supposed to get them in the eyes, but sometimes they float on in there, and I never experience it with any other palettes except for his. It's so weird. So that is a very pretty look. I do want to try to deepen it a smidge bit though. I'm gonna take this little brush from Sigma. It's the E36 blending brush, and I want to deepen this a little bit. So I'm gonna take Hearse, and I'm just gonna deepen up that crease area. Not going in with too much, just gently blending that shade in. And now I'm gonna deepen up the outer corner over here as well. Make sure it's nice and cohesive. I don't know why I say things the way I say sometimes. Cohesive. Patrick, baby boy. By the way, that is my favorite movie of all time. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. In case you don't know what I'm talking about, watch it. You'll love it. Okay? I hope this is different enough looking from the other look that I did, but I don't know. It's not as bright. Yeah, I used the other shimmer shades, but I think this palette is kind of interesting because it can all look so similar, you know? I mean, I'm gonna do a halo eye next, and I'm gonna make it very bold and stuff, but yeah. I mean, I'm a rainbow gal, you know. You guys have been watching me for a while, you know, I love my rainbows, but I really wanted to go outside the box with this palette and see if I can think of some different looks. So yeah, I don't know how different it is, but anyways, let me do the lower lash line. I want to try Inheritance because it looks like almost like a green, like a green gray. So I'm just trying to use as much as possible to get a good vibe for the palette. So we did the very, very cool tone grays in the last look. I'm trying to do these unique beigey grays. When I go to use it, it just looks gray. It's so misleading. Well, I'll tell you, that shaded pigmented, woo, almost darker than it looks in the pan, and whoa, way more gray. That's so crazy. Okay, let me take this blending brush and just soften that a little bit. Got lots of fallout from the glitter, just like the last look, so that's no surprise. Definitely this will be a palette that I will have to do my eyes before my face makeup. I am gonna go do the rest of my face makeup right now, and we will see if there's anything I wanna switch up or do different or add to or whatever. All right, so I completed the rest of my makeup, threw on lashes and everything, and I threw on this lippy, and then I decided not to do my hair because I kind of like how my, you know, how everything comes together. When I wear a bold lip, I like my hair all up and stuff, and I just kept these on because I thought they were cute. But anyways, about the makeup, because that's what we're here for. So for a couple little things in case you want to know what they are that I'm wearing. For lashes, I use the AOA Studio from Shop Miss A, and that's the premium lashes in Terry, and those are like $1 or $1.50 each, and they are so nice. I really like them. And then this was like the first time that I put liner, like black liner, on my lower lash line, and I don't know how long, but I just used the Marc Jacobs highliner in the shade Blacker just on my waterline, and I think that kind of pulled everything together. And then my lips, I did use the Jeffree Star liquid lipstick from the Valentine's Day mystery boxes with a touch of gloss on top. I was worried that this eye look looked too similar to the one that I just did, but I looked on my footage right there and I saw that no, they do look pretty different, which you guys probably already know because you're watching this, but I had to double check because I was just like, is the vibe too similar? But that one was so silver, so cool tone, that this one is just a different vibe. Not like crazy different, you could still get a similar look with some of the shades that I used, but this one is like a softer, smoky kind of gray. And it also has this like unique hint of beige. I see that more coming through on the shimmer that I used, more of a beige tone versus the mattes, but I thought that was interesting how things can look actually when you go to use them versus just in the palette, and that probably differs depending on the skin tone too. But yeah, we got one more look left to do, and I want to do a halo eye because those are my absolute favorites, so let's get cracking on that one. Okay, so I already have my face makeup done because I just wiped off the last eye look and lips, and we'll see how this goes as far as fallout. Anyways, I'm going to set underneath my brow again with Casket Ready because I like how that worked out. Let's pop it right there. Same old story, different eye look. And now I'm going to start with Grave Digger. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go in with Grave Digger, which is this one. Tap off the excess, and I'm just going to do a tiny blend on the sides and the inner corner. And then while we're at it, I'm gonna do the same thing on the lower lash line, connecting the corners over here. Now, let's go in with Hearse, and I wanna see how this black shade performs. I'm gonna be packing it on to the same sides and inner corner, but on the mobile lid. Just taking it right up to the crease, and then I'll gently buff that out after I lay everything down. Okay, that was very simple, packed on very nicely. Now let's go ahead and blend out this edge right here. When you're using a black, make sure not to be too wild and too aggressive. You just want little tiny buffing motions because you're just kind of gently pushing that around. You don't want to be too aggressive. Little tiny strokes back and forth. Okay, blended out pretty nicely. So now I'm gonna take Death Certificate, which is the one right there, put it on that area. It's like gunmetal gray. That's really cool. Just gently tap it out when you get to the top so it's not like too stark. And then same thing on the side. Just gently blend it by tapping it onto those matte shades we laid down. Okay, and then hopefully I can pull this off with a brush. I'm gonna wet this little concealer brush. And I'm just gonna dip into Diamond Ashes, and I'm gonna be focusing this on the center because I'm gonna give it like, I'm hoping to give it like a 3D halo effect. And then I'll press it out. It's not popping the way I want it to. I'll do some layers. I'll layer it up and see if I can get the vibe that I'm looking for. I might need to carve out though, actually. I could have just focused the Death Certificate shade on the sides, but it just works so much better with a finger that I didn't want to use a brush for that. Let's try just my finger with Diamond Ashes. Okay, there we go. That's better, man. I don't like being stuck to just using my finger, but oh well, it is what it is. At least we can get it to work. And not everybody has the problem of long nails like I do. But it's also not just that, it's just like when I want precision, you know, I want to be able to use a brush. Okay, let me go back in, I guess, with Death Certificate just on the sides right here. Hope you guys like watching me struggle with these. Can't do it. Can't do it. Whoa, so much fallout. So much. But we aren't surprised at this point. This is look number 3. Okay, so I just went in with Angel of Death, which is this black pressed glitter right here. And it's kind of silvery black. It's really interesting. And I just went along in between that matte shade over there and that, what is it, Diamond Ashes one. And just gently adds a little bit of dimension that I was looking for instead of it just being too flat. Not that it was bad, it just, I wanted a little bit more dimension to it. So that kind of gave it to me. So I'm gonna go in and just fine tune a little bit with this as I see fit, fix the fallout and everything. Do my liner lashes, do all of that. I'll see if I wanna do an inner corner once I finish everything. So I'll be back in a sec. All right, I am back and I am just popping in Diamond Ashes right into the inner corner just to really round out this look and complete it. Now, I know I'm wearing a bold lip right now. In case you want to know what it is from Milani. It is the Amore Satin Matte in the shade Leather. I did top it with a little bit of gloss, but it tends to wear off when I talk. It is from Jeffree Star. It's the gloss in the shade Ice Cold. Oh, look at with it fresh though. It's so pretty and glittery and you can see everything. It is so nice. Anyways, I know a bold black lip is not for everybody, so I threw on a neutral lip so you guys can see what this eye look looks like with that. It's a little bit more toned down, but the eye overall is a bold eye look. But what do I think about this palette overall? Now that I've done 3 looks with it, which isn't a ton, but 3 looks is a decent amount to be able to kind of gauge how I feel about everything. Oh, almost dropped it. First of all, the pigmentation is absolutely beautiful for those matte shades. Blendability is top notch, just very typical for Jeffree Star's matte formulas. The newer formulas in here that are those pressed metallics were absolutely stunning. They are gorgeous, but as you saw, you have to use a finger with it. I just don't get the same payoff with a brush, and even when I wet my brush, it still doesn't take me quite to that level. Now, one thing I will say is the palette, when you look at it in person, if you ever do, it does seem a little misleading because you have those brown tone looking shades when they're in the pan, but when you go to use them, they're pretty gray. You guys saw. It was more of like a beigey gray like we talked about, some kind of grayish, but yeah, you might, if you ever see this in stores or whenever that happens one day, you just, you know, take a look at swatches and see if that works for you. Now, do you need a 24 pan palette full of different types of grays, whites, and blacks? That's up to you to decide. I personally don't need it just because I'm such a colorful gal. I love to use my colors, but I wanted to really try to work outside of the box here, try to see how many looks I can come up with this and see how different it really is. Some of these shades in here do seem very, very similar, but you know, to each their own, whatever you fancy, whatever you like. I know Jeffree Star mentioned in his launch video that this is the first time it's ever been done, first in the industry, yada, yada, yada. I do think that you can get palettes of a smaller size in this color story. Like ColourPop has the, what is it? Smoke something? They changed the name, so now I don't know what it's called now. What is it called now? Blow and Smoke. The Blow and Smoke palette. Cute little 9-pan palette. I personally would be happy with just that. I haven't tried it myself, but I have heard good things about it. So you want to try something like that, see how it goes with you, see if you end up using it a bunch, and then going toward this if you're trying to decide on this one. Because this one, it's a pretty hefty investment. Formula is beautiful though. I don't think you'd be disappointed in that. It's just, do you need 24 shades of gray? You know, it's up to you. It's up to you. But very cool formulas in there. Very interesting. Not my favorite from Jeffree Star, but the Jawbreaker is, and that's because it's a rainbow. I think it's worth mentioning. This is what my eye makeup looks like at the end of the day. I don't know what happened, but this is crazy. So that is that. That is all for this video. If you are new here, I would love it so much if you would consider subscribing before you go. If you haven't yet, just hit that little red button down below. Just give it a quick little tap. That way you don't miss out next time I post a video, which is 3 times a week. And that's it for today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. And I hope that every single one of you have a great, freaking, awesome, wonderful, beautiful day. But first, if the AC is on, why is it so hot? That, don't like that. Come on. All right, I am back. So, yeah, okay. Jeffree Star. Why is it so hot? Go ahead and pull by hitting that little red button down. Now, before we dive into the tutorials, I want to just make a quick little note. Now, before we dive into the tutorials, okay, me